Welcome to the start of a new anime review series. This is the Rising of a Shield Hero. Anime Review Episode 1. Yep, I'm finally doing a review of this particular series. This one, reviewing the first 4 episodes of the series that adapt from the very first book of the light novels. And the thing is, these episodes mostly put, stay pretty faithful to the source material. I would say that you add like 1 or 2 minor things here and there, but mostly put, it's really faithful to the source material. Yeah, you can praise this anime movie, one of those anime that's pretty faithful. The first episode, I should talk briefly about the runtime of this episode. Yes, the pilot episode of the series, called The Shield Hero, is roughly 45 minutes. This is the second anime I've actually encountered so far since I've actually reviewed anime. Not only this year, but over the past 4 years. What was the first one? ReZero. Yep. And believe it or not, same dub company. Now, unlike, let's say, Cautious Hero, which I believe was dubbed by Funimation, not this series. Nope. This series was dubbed by Crunchyroll. Yep, they're the ones who dubbed this one. Yep. Now, this series came out roughly just last year. Yeah, very early last year, almost exactly over 1 year ago. It only lasted 25 episodes, which, pretty good amount. And the series adapted roughly the first 5 books. But in the case of this one, let's talk about what happened. The first few minutes is actually adapted from the first from the prelude, which is really short. Oh, and here's something interesting though about this particular series that I found so fascinating. Now, previously in other anime, they've actually mentioned the word anime in an actual anime and manga. This is the first anime I've actually seen where it mentions light novels. Yes, you know. These things, the books, basically a lot of the anime this year basically were out from I've watched this year. Yes, I was surprised to see this when I read the light novel recently. I was surprised at that, and mostly put, you have the main character, Natsuki, I think his name is. Yeah, he's the Shield Hero. By the way, his signature look he has, when you look him up, yeah, he doesn't get that right away. No, he doesn't. Yeah, here's the thing about that look. He actually has sort of had this look. I mean, look, let's say his look is simply put just a cape, some armor, which he doesn't get to episode 3, by the way. Yeah, he doesn't get the armor to episode 3. And, look, let's say this picture right here. This is a picture on the Wikipedia page of the very first light novel of the series. Now, he doesn't get this look. Now, he gets the cape actually in episode 1, but the rest of his signature look that he's known for having, which he has in a majority of light novels, so I've seen, I basically downloaded the first up to book 6 on Google Drive. He has this look, which they refer to as the Barbarian Armor in episode 3. Yep. Now, mostly put, this first episode covers a lot of stuff that happens over the course. Yeah, from what I can tell, this first episode covered. Now, the initial book this adapted from, this book itself was basically 336 pages. I would say this episode covered the first I'd say almost the first 100 pages. Covered a lot of the book in just this one episode. Basically, it's this. Natsuki, the main character of the series, you see him just looking around. He does a brief mention of his parents, but that's it. You don't really see his parents in the series. Not the books I've read. Nope. He's basically in what looked like a library when he briefly was given an allowance to stay. He mentioned his brother, which his brother doesn't show up in the series, by the way. Apparently he loves reading light novels, which is something I also enjoy too. And he finds the light novel talking about the 4 heroes: the spear, the sword, the bow, and the shield. And apparently when we looked at the shield section, that's when he, along with 3 other people, are summoned to this other world. Yes, this is actually the first time, this first anime I've seen so far, where we have 4 people summoned. But here's something unique about these people. It's later revealed that not only Nagatsuki, but the other three heroes come from different realities of Japan. Yeah, they mentioned the 1,000 yen, which is an actual current. It's yen is the currency over in Japan, and apparently, who's on the 1,000 yen and is completely different than reality. And they mentioned like virtual reality, and from what I could tell, from what they explained, like, oh, look at your stats. It reminded me very much of Assassin's Creed. Well, the game had been out for several years, so I would have not been surprised if the anime took inspiration from Assassin's Creed. I'm sure Ubisoft doesn't mind this at all, that they use a very similar approach. From what I can tell, their stat system, even though it's similar to Assassin's Creed, I would say it took inspiration from the stats system from the third game of the series, from what I can tell, because I've only played the original game. I played the second game, I played the third, and a little bit of the fourth on the PS. Well, I played the third and fourth game on PS3, and I played the second game on PS4. And it seems like very heavily inspired by the Assassin's Creed stat system. Yeah. So the 4-7 for the king. Now, there's a minor change here, because we actually have the four heroes who introduce themselves through age and what they're doing. Like, I think like two of them are college students, the other three, and by the time it gets Nagatsuki, he's basically about to introduce himself, and then he's cut off by the king, and then of course then he's like, oh, excuse me, can I introduce myself, please? He's like, sure, and of course he introduces himself, and of course he's a shield hero. Yeah, in case you're wondering, was the king this senile in the book as well? Oh yes, this scene is mostly intact, with the exception of a minor thing with Nagatsuki. Yeah, that little thing, that's actually anime original, because that didn't happen like now, because in the book, basically, it seems like he was about to talk when he got cut off. Here, you actually partially hear him talk before he's cut off, which I actually got handed to the studio who made the series. I think its name is Kaito Circus, Kaito Citrus, I think it is. The name of the company that made the series is Kentma Citrus. Yeah, and now, aside from this series, never watched any other series that they produced. And the company's only around, I'm looking at Wikipedia, it's roughly around for 12 years. And they, well, if you're a fan of these series, you may have heard of them. I have never watched these ones. There's Hikabio, Tokyo Magnate 8.0, Osari Kaji Mushui, Code Breaker, Yoroshuhi, Black Bullet, Barakamon, In Order of a Rabbit, Nor 9, Kumamuko, Girl Meets Bear, Scorching Ping Pong Girls, Maid of the Abyss, Revenue and Starlight, the most recent one which I showed this year, Show by Rock Mashura, and Show by Rock Stars. Yeah. Oh, and fun fact, Crunchyroll, I looked up on here, and this is a true article, not made up by Wikipedia. Crunchyroll confirmed that Razor Shield Hero, probably because the series probably did very well for them, has been renewed for seasons 2 and 3. Which, good job for them. You got plenty of source material to adapt from. You have roughly like 17 light novels to choose from. Hopefully do a good job with it. After the introduction, then we have, oh, let's give these people some women to be their party. And, like, apparently the Spear Hero gets, like, 5 women. Like, seriously. And the Shield Hero gets nobody. Yeah, nobody. Apparently no one wants to be with the Shield Hero for some reason. They describe him as a loser. And no one wants to be a Shield Hero because all he can do is defense. So what? He can defend you. So who cares? And the whole thing of the revealing from the different countries, their version of Japan, that's actually a little bit later. And of course, also they get their companion. Well, he gets one of the companions from the Spear Heroes party, a beautiful redheaded woman who, because I read the light novel, and I'm like, oh boy, we're gonna see this stupid bullcrap when it comes to this woman. Okay, she apparently works in for one adventure. Like, oh, let's go get some armor. Okay. Get some chainmail, which, by the way, They don't really describe what the chainmail looks like in the actual novel. Just, oh, he got chainmail. Yeah, I'm not. Now, I get the reason why they describe the way it is. It kind of looks like a big jacket. When I think of chainmail, I think of like actual chainmail, like silver chainmail that I've seen in several other shows I've watched. Heck, they even had chainmail in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, actual chainmail. That's what I think of chain. Not that it looks like a freaking jacket. So he goes out, kills some orange balloons, which these things are low-level monsters. Okay. And after working one day with this woman, they have dinner, and he's like, of course, he offers him a drink. He's like, nah, I'm not going to basically drink because I don't drink alcohol. So he goes to his room, and they do not show the scene because in the light novel, they actually have him remove his chainmail armor, which the anime cut that out. Yeah, that was actually the first cut I actually saw because, well, I get the reason why they cut that because we probably didn't see him remove it because it was probably unnecessary. It was probably cut for pacing purposes. Because we get to his room and the chainmail is already off. Which, like I said, no reason to have it there. So he says his money now, which that part is true from the light novel. And he goes to sleep. He wakes up and his chainmail. Now, they ought to keep this light novel. He apparently stuck some coins inside of his shield. Yep, stuck some coins inside his shield. And then he wakes up, and he's been robbed. And we have the King's soldiers show up. Do they bother to look for the thief? Nope, they never do. Why? Because he's being summoned to the castle. The reason? He's been accused of rape. Oh my gosh. I read this light novel, like, oh yeah, this is utter bullcrap. This whole fake trial. Oh my gosh. Even the light novel when I read this was utter stupidity. I did not like this at all because this is nothing more than a bunch of bullcrap. Okay, he's brought before the king. Now, the described light novel, he's sort of in his underwear. And I appreciate, now, in the manga, they kind of show it where he looks like he's wearing a shirt and some pants. So it looks like he's not completely naked. Which, that's kind of different how they describe in the light novel. Mostly he's kind of his underwear, but I appreciate that they took inspiration probably from the manga for this scene instead of drawing from the light novel. And the king is still being very stupid. Oh, he apparently is accused of rape. Oh, this mysterious woman, which, by the way, they reveal in episode 4, they're actually related. I will get to that. Oh, the accuser, he's like, hey, that's my chainmail arm. What do you think you do with it? And he's like, she gave it to me. Really? She stole it from him. Like, wow, that is some utter bullcrap. Yes, that line is from the light novel. And I'm not that surprised that the anime kept that in. And by the way, doesn't Shohiro ever get that chainmail back? Nope, he never does at all. Oh, and by the way, the whole period of time, he has the shield still on his wrist. Yep, he never removes it. So, despite the fact he was robbed, they apparently are more interested in trying to convict him of rape. And oh, like her clothes are torn, and apparently part of her clothes are found. And of course, she claims that he got drunk, which that's not true at all. And oh yeah, we had this mysterious underwear found on his bed. Yeah, that was clearly planted. And the king is an idiot. Because, oh, he doesn't like the shield hero because all he can do is freaking defense. So let's frame him for rape. Oh my gosh, it's so stupid. And, like, okay. So apparently, like, okay, you want my money? So he takes what little money he has and throws it right at the spear hero because he's a complete idiot. Yes, because the woman, I believe her name was Misty, she is manipulating him and he's going along with it. He doesn't freaking care because she's smoking hot. Yep, and apparently, despite the fact he tries to tell the truth, nobody believes him because he's the shield hero. Yeah. I'm on his side here, that the king is full of bullcrap. Yeah, he's full of bullcrap. So he walks off. Oh yeah, by the way, there's this weaponsmith that he works with. He's in like all the episodes, and so he basically just gives him a cape and he says, "Okay, you owe me like 5 copper flakes." Like, okay, fine. So he proceeds to go kill some monsters. Oh yeah, it's also revealed that apparently thanks to shield, the orange water balloons don't actually hurt him at all. So he gets basically a whole bunch of them and goes, and apparently his reputation has apparently been ruined because of this stupid scandal. So yeah, apparently people are afraid of him because they think he's a rapist, even though it's a lie. Yep, it's a big fat lie. So he brings a whole big ball, and the guy who's the appraiser tries to give him a low price. And then underneath his cape, he apparently has some alive orange water balloons, and he threatens him. So he gives him a whole boatload of money. And apparently off screen, he decided to stop by the weaponsmith shop and to give the guy the 5 copper coins. Okay. And he goes to a bar, just basically drinking, and 4 guys want to become part of his party. He's like, okay, but we have to pay you. I'm going to pay you based upon performance. And after he gets them quietly, I'm like, tell me what you guys really want. He's like, we want your money. He's like, okay. And he 6 water balloons on him, beats the crap out of them, and he just walks away. Oh yeah, it starts the sort of thing, something that starts a minor subplot of him going dark. So, and this happens all in the first episode. And then this mysterious man who is revealed to be a slave trader just say, hey, come with me, I want you to buy something. He's like, fine. And the very next episode, he goes into the slave market. Yep. And he comes across a demi woman who basically is like a cat girl who's sick. And he's like, oh yeah, I want you to buy this. Like, no, I'll buy her instead. Yeah. And her name is Reptilia and becomes a slave, thanks to the slave mark, which apparently is meant to basically help her. And so he trains her to fight because he can't exactly attack, all he can do is defend. So I have to basically teach her to fight, and of course, her getting shocked because of it. And of course, they go on a bit of some serious adventures. They take out some kind of 2-headed dog. Oh yeah, and they show her backstory. Apparently, one of the waves actually took out her home village, and by the 3rd episode, like, oh, we have a wave show up. Like, okay. And Niffler's like, okay, when was I told about this? So apparently in this church, we have this giant dragon hourglass that apparently keeps the time of when the next wave comes. So, wave comes really quickly. Reptilia confirms that she'll always be by his side. By the way, she's actually grown because over the course of the 2nd episode, he basically cured her of her sickness, and he basically fed her properly. And there's also a very funny scene of her wetting the bed, which I'm not going to say if I did that or not when I was younger, but for a lot of people, that's an embarrassing factoid that people should probably never try. Oh, by the way, most kids get punished for doing that. He doesn't punish her at all. That was just an accident. So, over time, basically, thanks to leveling up, basically she decreases in height and starts maturing. That's why the mentality of a child. And after taking out the 2-headed dog, which is not the same creature as Actor Village, she apparently, he gets stronger anyway. So of course, this creature's, let's just say, his essence gets attached to his shield. Yeah, that's one thing interesting though about his shield is that you can add stuff like a leaf shield. Like, oh, this looks so lame. They're like, oh, this is so cool. He of course also makes money by selling plants. Yep. He's like, oh, I just found these plants outside your village in the mountains. Like, okay, that's something. And the guy who appraised them is like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. And he also asked this same guy later, like, what would give me more money? My medicine or these herbs? And the guy says, the medicine will give you more money. He's like, okay, buy these from me. And of course buys other stuff too. And then by episode 3, when he had the Chaos Wave show up, prior to the Chaos Wave showing up, he got himself his signature look that he's known for having. Yeah, so basically it's sort of as the barbarian armor, which from what I can tell he still has it. By look at the cover, he still has it. I haven't read book 3 yet, but Well, I could tell he still has the armor, but doesn't have the channel anymore, but he has the armor. It was like, Yomi. So, that's the Chaos Wave happens, and Reptilia basically does her best. Oh yeah, and by the way, there is this member of the King's Army which, oh boy, this guy is a complete dick. Like, he apparently doesn't care about helping the village. Like, oh, let's help the heroes who actually can do a freaking attack, not help somebody who actually is one of the heroes. Yeah, just ignore him, go to the other cool guys. That's from his perspective. And here's the thing, only 2 of his members of his little group actually with him. The rest actually bother to help the shield hero defend the villagers. The other guys, nope, they don't care. And by the time they finally get there, the other 3 heroes already eliminated the monsters. He's like, come with us, we'll have the king pay you handsomely. Who knows, the shield hero would basically be, let's just say, paid. And by the next episode, he's just chillaxing. Oh yeah, it's also a slow review. He apparently is losing his taste. Yeah, there's an explanation for this. It's not really explained, but it's kind of implied that the darkness inside of him actually is preventing him actually having a taste in food. Yeah, that's probably what it is. It's never downright stated, but that's what's been implied for the past few episodes. So, at a party, the spear hero, because, oh, he's manipulated by Misty to think that, oh, Reptilia is basically being abused by him, even though she really isn't. So he challenges him to duel. And of course, Reptilia gets taken away from him. And despite the fact he really wants to use a sword, he can't. So he takes the shield hero and he puts up his own. He actually looks like he's going to beat him. And then Misty decides to interfere in the actual fight itself. Which, yeah, and of course, yeah, you're the win. And he's like, no, you didn't. You cheated. Because she helped you. This is a one-on-one duel. And the king is like, screw you. And Reptilia is like, yeah, this woman was a liar. Don't believe her. And despite the fact that the shield hero actually is getting very angry and depressed, looking like he's about to kill himself, like if Reptilia basically cures him of his darkness. And as for the other 2 heroes, the bow and sword hero, yeah, they actually take the shield hero side of this, like, oh yeah, we saw what you did. And the nobles want to keep quiet about it. Yeah, so Reptilia is allowed to stay with him, and her slave mark is removed. Though a collar's already... Now here's kind of the strange thing. When she gets older, the collar's removed, but yet when they think, oh yeah, she's still a slave, so give her out of the clothes she was wearing, put her in the rags, which I'm like, that's kind of stupid. Why would you put in the rags for her? She was wearing normal clothes. Yeah, oh, because she's a slave. Put her in slave clothes. Okay. And she points out to the spear hero, yeah, what you did was stupid. I didn't need to be rescued by you at all. You're full of bullcrap. I'm going to stay with him because you're bullcrap and you are a manipulating liar. So Reptilia basically cures the shield hero of his darkness, and they stay together. And of course, his ability to taste stuff has been restored. Yep. And, well, that's pretty much it. I gotta say, really faithful adaptation of the book. Oh, and they do have one line change here. Like, in the book, and this is also brought up in the manga as well, where he brings up the whole thing, the fact that Reptilia is getting a little bit older. It's like, she says, in the light novel, in the manga, she says, I've got the mentality of a child, but the body of an adult. It's slightly different in the anime, but it's presented the same way. But really good set of episodes. Can't wait for episodes 5 through 8 to discuss book 2, which is a brand new character, a bird named Flo. I'll discuss that when I discuss episode 2. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. My next video is going to be a comic corner. Yep. One is on a trade. I never expected to do another trade for this series again. And the other one's a Hulk trade. Okay? See you next video. Bye.